Hello, 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 hello. Am I live? There's always that little hesitation in the beginning. I think I'm live. I'm live. Hello. Hi, hi, hi. Women over 50, a life redesigned. Hello. I am Julie Scott. And for those of you who don't know me, I call myself a lot of things, but first of all, I call myself an ageless goddess. I call myself a feel good junkie and a self expansion guide. I'm also the founder of the Confident Women's Community. I know some of you are a member of my Facebook group as well. And I'm honored that Shelly has invited me to speak with you tonight and do a little presentation. And so I'm excited to be here. So, what I'm going to be talking about today is how we can all live our best lives at 50, 60, 70, and beyond. Now, for those of you who don't know my age, I'm turned 55 years old in February. And every year when I look in the mirror, I notice I look different. Okay. My eyes go straight to my crow's feet, my laugh lines, the furrows in my brow, and I catch myself longing for what I used to look like, right? The younger me. And then I remember that back then, when I was 10 or 20 or even 30 years younger, I would judge and criticize myself how I looked at that age too. And that's when I know better and I stop and I smile and I tell myself, I love you, Julie. You're beautiful. And I move on with my day. Now, to be truthful, it took me some time and some work to get here to accept my age, accept and love my body, and embrace the aging process. Okay? It was just before my 50th birthday that I really started to feel old. Okay. There's the stigma around aging in general, but turning 50 is when I think it gets really magnified. There's the black balloons, the over the hill birthday cards, and I admit it was having an effect on me. Okay, I began referring to myself as an old lady in conversation, making it a joke. But I knew inside it was exactly how I felt. And it wasn't until a friend pointed out to me that I was referring to myself as old a lot and how ridiculous it sounded that I actually became aware of it. They say, be careful what you say about yourself because you are listening. And, I have to say it is so true. I felt old because I was telling myself I am old. And that's when I decided to edit that out of my conversations, both with other people and with myself. And you know what was really cool? Almost immediately, I felt better. I mean, I felt more energized and optimistic about my age, about my life, and about the possibilities. So the thing is, we're taught that as we age, we decline. But I don't believe that that has to be the case. The 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond are our ageless years. I believe we can be happy, healthy, dead, just like we're sliding into home plate. Okay? And I, for one, plan to feel as good as I can for as long as I can and always be able to pull up my own pants. It all starts, though, with our mindset. Okay? By eliminating the focus on the I can't do this thoughts and reframing your thoughts and conversations with what you can do, the whole world can and will open up for you. So, the message that I really want to share with all of you tonight is it's time to say goodbye to striving for a younger you. Instead, strive for the best version of you right now. Okay? So, You may be saying, hey, Julie, how do you become the best version of you? Well, I believe you have to start to have a love affair with your body. Get in touch with your body. Reconnect with it or connect with it for the first time. I'm a big believer in progress, not perfection, and always encourage people that I talk to reconnect with their body so that they can love the way they look and feel. Okay? For me, now this was definitely a process, okay? Because you see, for years, and it's decades really, I hated my body. I would yo yo diet every couple of years, struggling to lose the same 20 to 25 pounds, only to gain them back again and then some, right? I'd look in the mirror and my eyes would go straight to the parts of my body that I didn't like. It's like my big hips, my thick, dimply thighs, my big butt. And I tried every diet out there, I'm sure of it. It seemed like I was always dieting, and it just consumed my thoughts. It would take me forever to pick out an outfit to go out because I had to feel like I didn't look fat in it, right? Not to mention the thoughts that I'd have when I took my clothes off. So let's not go there. Am I gaining weight? Am I losing weight? Do I look fat in these jeans? I mean, it's just, I'd find a new diet that I hadn't tried before, and this cycle would start all over again. All the restrictions, the calorie counting, measuring portions, and then there'd be the hours of punishing exercise at the gym, to work off the food if I slipped up, which I always did. And the anxiety every time that I'd step on the scale, wondering if I was up or down. Am I down? Great. I'm going to have a great day. I'm in a good mood. Or if I'm up, oh crap, it would ruin my entire day. It was exhausting. My insecurity around my body bled into all other areas of my life and had me doubting my worth at every turn. This went on well into my 40s when I just couldn't do it anymore. I started to think, well, these extra pounds are just a part of who I am now as a middle-aged woman. I blamed it on my hormones shifting, and well, don't we all just gain weight as we get older? So that's what I told myself. My marriage ended right around the same time, and I remember thinking, how the hell did I get here? I mean, my life just blew up. And it really threw me into a tailspin and had me looking at my life in a whole new way. And I realized something, that I had been playing a part. I was pretending. I was pretending to be happy. Pretending to be happy in pretty much every area of my life. Now, I realized that my life or my body wasn't really going to change unless I changed it. I needed to change my thoughts, my habits, my beliefs, so I could address all areas of my health, from mindset, food, exercise, sleep, relationships, spirituality, and mostly how I felt about myself. It was all up to me. So, little by little, I started working on me, okay? That's when the light bulb went off in my head. It's all connected. I thought about how I had been treating my body over the years, restricting it, punishing it, starving it, berating it. And I began to understand that the way I think and feel about myself affects my body. And my body responds to those thoughts and feelings. I learned that my body is always communicating with me, telling me what it needs. And I began to pay attention to my body. I began to take the time, energy, and focus to get to know what foods worked for me and what didn't work for my body. And I tapped into what made me feel good more than anything else versus what didn't. In fact, I made feeling good my North Star in my life, and it changed absolutely everything. Now, it took a few years to figure out that by following my new North Star, it kept me from overeating, over drinking, and not getting enough sleep. It also helped me to eat more of the foods that made me feel energized instead of sluggish, and those foods that agreed with my stomach and digestive system. Okay. And I learned just last year that what I was actually doing is called intuitive eating. So I didn't really know about that before last year. But if you're not familiar, intuitive eating, this is a definition, it's a dynamic mind-body integration of instinct, emotion, and rational thought. It's a personal process of honoring your health by paying attention to the messages from your body and meeting your physical and emotional needs. And it's a journey of discovery that puts you front and center. You are the expert of your own body. Makes sense, right? So practicing this helped me to work with my body instead of against it. And food was no longer the enemy. Rather, it was fuel for my body. That just felt so much better. So my newfound connection to my body really lit a spark in me. I wanted to do something scary and exciting and to challenge myself. It was around the time that I had just stopped telling myself I'm old, remember, when I was just about to turn 50, when I was introduced to something called bikini competitions. Now, based on what you've heard from out of my mouth so far and my history around my body image, right? Participating in a bikini competition was just about the furthest thing that I thought I could ever do. But I did it. Not once, but twice. And they were both after I turned 50. Okay? Now, yay! Now, I thought I was doing the bikini competition to challenge myself and to gain confidence and to give 50 the middle finger, frankly. And it did both of those things. But what I really got out of it, I learned even more about my body and what it can do and what I can do when I put my mind to it. Okay? So, after the bikini competitions, I continued to tune into the cues of my body that my body was giving me, and now I can say I trust the wisdom of my body. I believe I've allowed my body to return to its original blueprint size and weight as it was always meant to be, kind of like my shoe size. And now, again, at 55 years old, I'm enjoying my life free from the chains of the diet mentality, ever dieting again. So, woo. Okay. Now, another way to spark the love affair and connection with your body and live your best life is through movement. Yes, I mean exercise. But I prefer the word movement because it opens up the possibilities way beyond typical exercise activities. When you think about it, when we were kids, no one had to tell us to move or how to move for that matter. We just did what came naturally to our own bodies. The funny thing is, with all that energy as kids, all we heard back then was sit still. And now that we're older and we're told by our healthcare providers that we need to move. So, isn't that interesting? So, with all the pressure to get healthy these days, combined with the drudgery and dislike of exercise for most people, a lot of people struggle still to incorporate that much needed movement into their, weekly routines. And especially as we age and our lives become more about sitting at the computer and watching TV in the recliner, and the less you move, the harder it is to move, right? But here's the thing. We are designed to move. And here's some really, really, really good news. Muscle strength and balance do not deteriorate with age. They deteriorate with lack of use resulting from a sedentary lifestyle. You can get it all back. So just like healthy young astronauts have a difficult time keeping their balance walking after they've been in space, likewise, when we sit all day and don't move regularly against the forces of gravity, we also lose our balance. Now, astronauts regain their strength and balance in a couple of weeks. All of us, regardless of our age, can do the same. Now, it may take longer, but here's what you can do. Here's some ideas. At least 3 times a day, stand on one foot and close your eyes. And see how long you can balance without needing to steady yourself with your other foot or a chair or whatever, okay? I do this in the shower. I cross my foot over my other knee to, squat down to wash my feet. I actually keep my eyes open, but it's still balance, okay? And I also practice yoga, which includes a fair amount of, balancing poses. So you may be wobbly at first, but with practice, you can build your balance and it will just keep getting better and better. Now, if you struggle to exercise, I invite you to think outside the box and get creative, okay? Instead, try and bring some pleasure, right, into your movements as you embrace, like a sense of adventure, stretching yourself in new ways. Ask yourself, what is possible with my body today? How can I move differently than I did yesterday and have more fun doing it? How can I keep moving more joyfully and more freely that will make me feel stronger, healthier, and more vibrant? Take the pressure off yourself to do the typical exercises, okay? And find ways to move that you and your body enjoy. Then you're much more likely to keep doing it, okay? Now here's a bonus. Being present in your body, having good balance, and being aware of your movements can safeguard you from injury. And joyful movement can make your life so much more worth living. Now for me, I have to say that daily movement is a must. Otherwise, I turn into somebody else. I just get plain old grumpy. And I get asked so often, how I find the motivation to exercise, 6 or sometimes even 7 times a week. And it's actually a 2-part answer. So the first part is this. I have a get to versus got to or have to attitude around moving my body. I get to move my body, and I'm grateful that I'm able to. What I've noticed is when I can't move my body due to injury or sickness, it makes me value the times when I can do it even more. And looking at it in this way, as a privilege, as a blessing or a gift, it removes some of that resistance that I might have to doing it. Second, and I always have to have a second motivator because sometimes I need another one. I don't focus on the movement itself or the act, of driving to the gym these days, or now these days I just walk into my garage gym. Rather, I focus on how I know I'm going to feel when I'm done. It's that dangling carrot, the light at the end of the tunnel, the reward of all those feel-good endorphins, the energy and just the plain feeling alive that I get from doing the movement. And that is what drives me. I want to feel good, and moving my body makes me feel good. Now, I know I've been talking at you for 18, 19 minutes now. All that I've covered up to this point is really a whole lot of self-care stuff that you probably already know about. I get it. However, what I do know is knowing something and doing something are 2 very different things. In my experience, you really can't accomplish these things unless you make one key change. I hope you're listening because this is a key. You must make yourself a priority in your life. As women, we are the nurturers, which in many cases sets us up to be the caretakers of everyone else, leaving ourselves last on our lists. We pour all of our energy into our marriages, our families, and our careers, leaving little, if any, energy left for ourselves. And I just have to share this story with you because it really touched me. Recently, I had some dental work done, and I struck up a conversation with the woman that was assisting my dentist. And while we were talking, her cell phone rang, and she left the room to go take the call. And when she came back in the room, she was like visibly flustered. She was upset. And she was like, "Oh, that was my daughter calling, asking me to pick up my grandkids because normally this is my day off. And I don't know what it's going to be like when I retire at the end of the year." And I said, "Oh my God, how exciting. You're going to be retiring soon. You'll have so much more time to do whatever you like or whatever you want to do." Then she shared that her family will likely expect her to use her time doing things to help them out. She didn't look excited about it either. And so I said to her, I'm like, "Well, what do you want?" And she looked at me and she got all teary-eyed. And she's like, "No one has ever asked me that before." And I was like, hmm. So, as a recovering people pleaser, I know firsthand how easy it can be to lose yourself. For nearly 4 decades, I did what was expected of me, or what I thought I should do. I morphed into what I thought my ex-husband wanted me to be. I wanted to prove what a great partner and a great stepmother I could be. I believed that my worth was directly tied to what I could do for others. I made sure that I didn't rock the boat asking for what I wanted in life because I didn't want to make a fuss or to be viewed as high maintenance, and I told myself I was fine. Only I wasn't fine. I looked around my life and I was so disappointed at what I found. I was in a marriage I was unhappy in, working in a job that I hated, and I was living in a city that I longed to leave. All of those years of stuffing my emotions, stuffing my feelings, my dreams, my desires to make everyone else around me happy left me feeling angry, bitter, empty, and lost. I knew something had to change, and the turning point for me was my marriage ending, as I said before. I had to stop pretending I was happy and go after real happiness. I shifted my focus and energy to me. And with a lot of soul searching, I've changed my mindset and beliefs about myself. And I have given myself the permission to put myself first. I've turned my life into what I'm excited about living. The decision to focus on me has transformed every area of my life, from my health to my weight to my relationships, as well as my career and where I live, by the way. I'm truly living my best life, and it's only getting better. And I believe every woman deserves to put themselves first in life. I also believe it's the key to being an ageless goddess. And it's certainly the way to live your best life. Now, ladies, recognize that the time is now. Life is short, and we can never know when it's going to end. We might have a certain amount of control over our longevity because we can choose to take good care of ourselves or not. But the truth is, we don't have full control of everything, and things happen. The time is now. The thing that you've been wanting to do, go ahead and go do it. If you find yourself happy doing something in particular, then do twice as much of it. And if you don't like something about your current circumstance, then change it or try to adjust it. Just don't wait. Don't settle. Make every minute count by staying open to the possibilities. Okay? Continually learning, sharing, creating, giving, and experiencing. Each day is a new adventure. This is your life, and you only get one. And now is the time to live it to its fullest. Now, every day, We all get a choice of what we choose to look at and how we choose to feel. We can look at the sky and marvel at the clouds, or we can choose to mope and drag our feet. Now, I know this may sound simple, but we have control over the most important part of our lives, what we choose to focus on. Now, personally, I have found that daily meditation with a focus on gratitude is very helpful for me, and it keeps me feeling grounded, centered, and abundant. So we can appreciate and be joyful for what we have and who we are or not. We can choose self-acceptance, self-love, and take the actions that give us increased self-confidence or not. We may not have control over much in the world, but we certainly have control over what we decide to focus on. In closing, I'd like to share my mission and my vision with you. My mission is to help mature women prioritize their needs and gain confidence so they can stop worrying about being enough and start living life. And my vision is for mature women to trust in themselves, trust the wisdom of their bodies, and trust in their worth so they can free themselves in life to embrace the aging process with ease, optimism, and strength. So, if you got some value out of what I've talked about today, I'm glad, because that was really what I was intending to do, is bring you something valuable. Now, I invite you to join me in my Facebook group if you're not there already. It's called the Confident Women's Community. Here, I share my knowledge, experience, and training that I use in working with my own clients around body confidence and self-confidence in general. And I just want to say, welcome. You are all worthy and loved. You can also learn more about me and what I do through my website. It's called itsaboutttimebaby.com. And I also wrote a book, and Shelley talked about it a couple of times. And it was published in 2019, self-published. It's called This Time It's About You, A Journey from No I Can't to Yes I Can. And it's about my story of waking up in midlife. It's available through my site or through Amazon. So that's it. Thanks again for your time, and thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all tonight. If you have any questions or if you want to reach out to me, I'd love to hear from you. I also have, I wanted to offer you guys a freebie too. I have something called Connect to Your Body to Make Health and Weight Release Effortless. And if you would like a copy of that, just comment yes, please underneath this video, and I'll be happy to get that to you. And it's a free guide. Okay. Thanks again for watching, and much love to you all.